Hello everyone, Kristrún and Hilda again from Midwives. One of the things that the midwives and us deal with every day is not just midwifery, but a lot of consultation that the midwives mainly do. A lot of it is about the roles of the new parents. What am I supposed to do? What is the dad's role in the whole new concept? And what is the mom supposed to do? I know, Hilda, you deal with a lot of issues related to this, and probably on a large scale more than anything medical or strictly related to your profession. But we know a lot of people appreciate that. And recently we had a extremely well-read post about motherhood more than anything else. But Hilda, what is the biggest conflict that new parents will have?
Perhaps it's hard to say one is the biggest conflict, right? But the common question that people have is, not actually a question, but a common conflict that I see, is that the mother and the father, they see their roles, actually the roles of the other one, slightly differently when the new baby is there. Sometimes this happens already before the baby is born. Sometimes it becomes obvious in the few days and weeks after the birth.
But do you think that people simply don't discuss how they're going to deal with it?
I think
how they're going to, what is the parenting strategy, or who is going to do what?
Well, we'll probably have to do more than just this blog or this the chat today to talk about that, and the whole parenting strategy and that part. And essentially, if you look at second-time parents or people with their third or fourth child, you're often looking at very different things than parents with the first one. So perhaps with the first one, you are often introduced to very new things about your partner that you had no idea about. There are ideas about, yes, parenting, upbringing, and you see them do these things probably in the only way that they know, the way they were brought up or where their role models came from. With the second baby, and sometimes slightly further into the parenthood, there are other conflicts that have got to do with time and the expectations of having children and the relationship and that kind of thing. But I guess what we intended to talk about was the
roles.
Yes, the roles that we'll set it up this way. As a midwife, I come to the home of someone, and there's a 5-day-old baby and a mother and a father. Both are a little bit tired, very happy. And the mother is complaining of lack of support to do what she needs to do, breastfeeding and get some sleep in between. The father is working and comes home to want to be a part of the whole new baby life. But has perhaps doesn't really know how to do things, how to enjoy and how to help. And the mother has different ideas about the same, right? Does this make sense?
Yes, but and the problem is, as a brand new mother, you've been there the whole day with the baby, and there are just certain things that I remember this very well. I just did not want my husband to do certain things.
Yes, and it's very well known that the female species,
as an animal,
the female animal,
yes,
is very protective of the baby. Of course, the father too; he protects the whole nest and all of that. But the mothers are often very protective, even towards the father, right? But now let's start to argue, because of course, who owns this baby? We have debated this many, many times.
Of course, of course.
And because I come from the I'm very understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that, of course, it's normal that the mother finds and feels that she is perhaps more instinctive. Her behavior and the taking care of mechanisms are more instinctive.
Yes.
With her, right? So often the mother has a slight inclination to expect that the father doesn't know how to do things, doesn't do them as well as she does them.
Yes.
Correct?
Absolutely correct.
But do you think the father is going to neglect its own child?
No, but I know that he will do it differently. And it can be very difficult to sit there on the sofa, try to relax, and watch him doing it all wrong.
Is this the fundamental difference between a woman and a man?
I guess. But give this newborn mother who's sitting there on the sofa, exhausted. She wants help, but yet she wants to do it all herself.
Yeah.
Give her 5 tips on how to give the father, for the benefits of both, of course.
Yeah.
Just 5 simple tips.
Yeah.
Without digging too deep into the space of the new mother.
Okay.
What is that?
Let's
5 things.
Okay. First, I must say one thing. Simplify one thing. It's understanding, 100% understanding that she feels this way and wants to. I mean, she projects what she's feeling towards the father.
Yeah.
But it's also fundamental. Like, even if it wasn't the dad, in this case, it was a school child or somebody else you're trying to bring along into a project. It's very important to help them to not feel too insecure and understand that this isn't going away. You're going to have this community or this project together for years and years to come.
Yes.
So there has to be some kind of communication system and ways to go about this that are more long-lasting. So yes, the 5 tips. Tip number 1, I haven't thought about this beforehand, so you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
5 tips. First of all, you want help, and you also want things to be done your way, right?
Yeah, yes. But so give me 5 simple solutions for tasks for the partner when he comes home after a long day.
Okay, not necessarily just tasks. That's the first thing.
Okay.
First tip, don't look at it as tasks.
Okay.
The baby belongs to him too. So he has done a long day and he looks forward to seeing the baby. He perhaps does know much less about how to do it than you do. And so you've got to let him in first. So first thing, let him in and let go of the expectations that he must do things your way. Second thing, take a bath.
Yeah.
And let him do it while you're there.
Yeah. Without watching over his shoulder.
Yes, absolutely.
Or take a nap or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Third thing, sit down with him afterwards. I cannot say have a glass of wine. What's the equivalent? Make instead of no, this has to happen, and he's like trying to get his head around all of what he just did while you were having the bath. So instead of, don't take it too seriously. Just sit down and sip on the tea and talk about, like, in a nice way. Even if you feel a bit stressed and everything, but take things down to the level where things can be a little bit more even. And then say, okay, how was it? How did it work with the diaper change? Or, was it hard? And then you can say, oh my God, I didn't know that they peed so much. And instead of, no, you've got to hold the legs like that. You can't let them, were you on the table like that? And what was the diaper? This isn't going to work, right? Let him explain that it actually was a bit of a challenging task. And I think long-term, where am I? I'm in tip 3. Okay. The long-term is, well, the outcome of this is going to be that both of you feel better and the baby gets the best care. And the atmosphere of the house is nice. Who wants to come home to a really stressful household atmosphere? And who wants to be the wife at home that gets a stressed dad home? You both want to kind of be united, right?
I agree, but I remember this feeling very well because you're at home. you're taking care of a baby. It's a long day, even if it's a long day and every hour is long sometimes in the beginning. And then your husband comes home and he's been seeing people, you know, living a normal life. And maybe that's just all you want. And maybe you're just slightly jealous and just wanna bitch about it, or I don't know.
But maybe that's normal too. And you just, we're in rule number 3,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So, okay, in your neutral zone, where both can speak, but not at once, you have every right to put this out there. And then he has every right to say, yes, I found it quite hard to change the diaper, and I also find it quite hard at work, and I miss you every day, and I want to come home, but I can't. You have the choice. You wanted to, right? And in the neutral zone, instead of arguing about it, it's not going to change. You're at home with a baby. He's in the office doing your job, right? So that's maybe not going to change. So we go back to point number 1. Let go. Just whatever you cannot change, don't try and change it. You cannot control it all. And then make it a sort of a mutual protest. And okay, I'm going to sort of skip. Then comes, we all learned how to do the diapers. Perhaps you figure out, okay, what can his job, not just changing the diapers, right? Because it's so, I mean, it's fine to change diapers, and it's always put out in the antenatal classes, oh, the dad, but yes, you cannot breastfeed, so fantastic for you to take the diapers, right?
Yeah, and the bath.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Find something else that he wants to do.
Because I through our relationship with our clients, it's actually a few dads I know, they come home every night to give the baby a bath, and maybe then they go back to work.
Yeah, even
but I think that's a beautiful thing to do, and the mom can have a massage while this is done, or I don't know what. Was that tip number 4?
Yeah, that was tip number 4. But usually and very often the moms, like in the very early days, the moms are not ready to kind of let go of the baby fully like that and just go somewhere. So perhaps to begin with, it's a bad tip to force a mom that only wants to just hold the baby, keep it there. But she can train herself to sometimes understand that, okay, he has come home now. Here's the baby that belongs to both of you. And if you can't do it fully together, where you're not just constantly, no, hold it like this, no. You can just let him do certain things. You can't. Train yourself to take very small parts of the day. First the bath.
And allocate to him.
Yeah, and let him sometimes, maybe he wants to go for a little walk with a baby Bjorn, in a carrier. And in the meantime, if you're complaining that you really can't sleep, and not complaining, but that's the feeling that you're tired, and maybe to say, look, actually, maybe it's a nice thing to be able to answer my emails not for half an hour. He will not drop the baby or wipe the poo in the wrong direction, but he's not going to do it.
Well, he might.
But you could.
Yeah, that's true. But a good maybe last tip. The
last tip is, and everyone should always do this, is go, if you live somewhere where it's even possible to do that, go and meet each other for lunch every week. Take the little stroller or the carrier or something and meet each other for lunch out of the household in the middle of the day when everybody's kind of happy and cheery. Baby sleeps probably through most of it. It's a great way of brightening up the day of somebody who's busy in the office.
That's a good idea.
And it's a great way for the mother that is perhaps felt a bit locked in the household.
But can I add the sort of 6 advice then? Because what I do quite a lot of is to help women sort of overcome the challenges of leaving your baby with a helper, through our helper and baby playgroup. Because that's similar. They're leaving the relatively new baby with another caregiver. Yeah. And what I often talk about there is to do things gradually, minute by minute almost. And perhaps even if it may sound a little bit disrespectful, but for those mothers who find it very difficult to hand their newborns to the father, is just to do it gradually, minute by minute, almost, through all these 5 great points. But
what was point 2?
I can't remember. Never mind. I know I put you on the spot there, but we pulled it out. We were just gonna do a quick
work
one.
as a team. Really, work as a team. You chose this partner. He chose you. You chose him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not going to change this, and get on with it. Stop that nagging with it. Both women and men, right?
Yeah.
Just be happy. It doesn't have to be so serious.
But a good future topic for us is the parenting strategies.
Yes.
That's another very well-read topic of ours that we should put on video soon.
Thank you all very much for listening.
Thank you. Be good to each other. Bye.